After a season that's been decimated with injuries for this Boston Celtics team, is it fair for Celtics fans to start questioning what kind of information is leaked out by this Celtics team? Is that fair to say for Celtics fans? I mean, we've been down this road before, right?
Celtics fans are cliff jumpers, Josue. Of course they're not going to.
That's an accurate statement.
You know what? They've also been Belichick fan, right? Patriots. Everybody questions the transparency there. So is it fair? I don't know if it's fair or not, but I could see it happening. Let's not forget in 2009, I'm pretty sure KG was on that playoff roster.
Yeah.
And every single game, fans were entering the Garden wondering if Garnett was going to be on the bench, in the locker room, or on the court.
Right. Instead, you saw Big Benny Davis out there. That's right.
Well, what a letdown.
Well, I think this conversation sort of started when the Isaiah Thomas situation came about, when the way that was handled. We saw the staff pretty much fired after that. You know, Ed Lacerte, a guy who has been with this team for decades, a legend, let go. We know there was some sort of misinformation handled there with Isaiah Thomas. Is that the same sort of situation that we're facing here with Kyrie Irving in some sense?
I think in some sense, yeah, for the fans. You know, I understand, like Nick said, I understand why they're questioning the transparency. It makes sense. You know, like you said, the past would lead them to feel like that, you know? And so I don't know if it's a similar situation to what we saw with Isaiah Thomas. I think it's a little bit different here, considering it was a past injury with Kyrie Irving. Right. But I totally understand where fans are coming from, and I'm not sure if it's the right way to think, but it's understandable.
How many mailbag entries are we getting now? Do you believe what's going on? Silly. Of course the team is being transparent,
right.
But at the same time, you also
minimally invasive. Yeah.
The minimally invasive thing,
too.
I mean, come on. But then he got an infection. I mean, these things happen. Do you think they lied and then came back and said, oh, no, he was infected the whole time? If he did, Jackie Mack will find out. We'll know. Because Jackie is the one who let us know about, Kyrie threatening to get that surgery back in Cleveland.
Months after the fact, he let that out. Yeah.
Again, it's a matter of, should the Celtics play now for it all when it's really a risk to even get out of the Eastern Conference, or shut them down? I said shut them down a month ago.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, now the new quote is going to be the no structural damage. You know, if Kyrie Irving is unable to respond coming into next season, then maybe they were misinformed us when saying that it was no structural damage, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all about it's all about the questioning. You're never going to get a sure answer with Boston fans to this point because of the past. No matter what news comes out, there's going to be a question mark there, and people are going to be nervous, and it's fair. It is fair.
It is fair. Yeah. But at the same time, Chris, how many people, front offices, are out there just boasting whatever's going on with their medical of their team?
Right.
I mean, for nothing less, with Isaiah in particular, they didn't want that information.
Why would you?
Why would you?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's business.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything other than business. Fans are emotional. Agreed. Boston fans are very emotional.
Yep.
You could be emotional and pick on me in the comments section on YouTube. You do it regularly.
Why do you always say that? That's not always true. You don't get beat up that much.
It's me and Toscano every time.
From time to time you get it. It's not every single video.
I trust Danny Ainge. I trust Bill Belichick. That's it.
There we go.
Well, one thing we can say is different between this situation and what happened with Isaiah Thomas is the fact that, this isn't a situation where you're thinking, oh, man, should they trade Kyrie Irving? Don't let out too much information.
Oh, no, I hear it already. Keep Rozier trade. Oh, it's in the comments on YouTube.
The murmurs are there.
The murmurs are there.
Oh, yes, and let me tell you something.
If they did let out that information, that Kyrie Irving deal probably doesn't happen, right? I mean, if they were honest about how bad his back was, his hip was, excuse me.
Oh, you mean about Isaiah?
If they let that information out.
Cleveland knew. Cleveland knew.
And they just wanted a 2022 pick.
It wasn't about Isaiah.
I don't think the transparency between teams is ever in question. I think it's more team to fans rather than team to team. I think the transparency is perfect.
I agree totally. Yeah, because that was going to. I mean, Danny Ainge had to disclose that. I think
there's a rule. You have to disclose that when in negotiations.
Sway.
Well, no, I mean leading up to the trade, Nick. Leading up to the trade, I mean it was sort of.
We didn't know.
He played one game in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, he's out for the series. And it was a surprise.
We were there. We covered it.
It was a
crazy.
surprise for that to happen so quickly. Whereas this guy has been battling this hip injury for weeks or months before.
And here he is a year later getting surgery. Aren't you glad that Kyrie's getting the surgery now instead of
100%.
100%. It's the right move to make. I trust Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully.
Call me crazy.
Hopefully this will put the Kyrie Irving injury talks to
bed.
I'm
sure it will.
At least for the next few days before we head into the
next
playoffs.
Few hours.
Because once the playoff starts, we've got a whole different team here. No Kyrie Irving. A group full of underdogs are going to fight in this first round series. Still don't know who they're going to be facing, but the next time we're here at TD Garden Report, we will find out and we will talk about the first round matchup for this Boston Celtics. That's going to do it for us here from TD Garden. I am Joseph Pavon. This has been the Garden Report for CLNS Media.